We're here because free speech is under attack. We're here because people are being convinced that socialism works. We're here because people are being judged guilty until proven innocent. We are fighting back with facts. This is not a safe zone, so buckle up, Buttercup. This is the raw, naked truth.
Kamala Harris faces Democratic dissent. The head of the Secret Service resigns. Trouble for the job market and more. Welcome to the Raw Naked Truth. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin, and here's the news you need to know. Approximately 200 people were arrested after pro-Hamas agitators gathered in the Cannon Rotunda on Tuesday afternoon to protest the Israeli government. Video shows a large group of protesters wearing red shirts sitting in circles in the Cannon House office building's rotunda. Demonstrators clapped and chanted as police officers were seen apprehending fellow protesters who were escorted away. Some shirts read, "Stop Arming Israel." A source from the office of Representative Dan Kildee, a Democrat from Michigan, said that staff and interns barricaded themselves in their offices, which were close to the demonstration. The protesters were nearby, and the source said the protesters were violently beating on all three of the doors. It is illegal to protest in the Capitol office building. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's address to Congress on Wednesday drops one of the world's most polarizing politicians into the middle of an unprecedented U.S. political shakeup, a risky combination as he tries to win support from both parties for his country and its war. In one of her first decisions since consolidating delegates, Kamala Harris has decided to forego her responsibility of presiding over the joint session of Congress as vice president and will not attend Netanyahu's speech. Meanwhile, rival Palestinian factions, Hamas and Fatah, have buried the hatchet in an agreement that calls for a unity government to oversee Jerusalem, the West Bank, and the Gaza Strip. The deal was brokered by China in Beijing. Netanyahu is scheduled to meet with Donald Trump as well as Joe Biden. After enduring a bipartisan grilling on Capitol Hill over the security failures that allowed for the assassination attempt on former President Trump, Secret Service head Kimberly Cheadle has stepped down, writing in an email to Secret Service employees that she didn't want the chorus of criticism to be a distraction. She admitted that the agency fell short of its mission to protect U.S. leaders when a gunman managed to fire several shots at Trump and spectators from a nearby roof at a July 13th rally in Butler, Pennsylvania. Democrats and Republicans in Congress are now launching a bipartisan task force to investigate the assassination attempt. Despite the appearance of the party coalescing behind Kamala Harris, a Democratic Party mega-donor doesn't believe VP Kamala Harris can beat former President Trump and is refusing to donate to her campaign. Orlando-based attorney John Morgan, who donated $1 million to the Biden campaign, said he is now out as Harris is expected to become the Democratic nominee with the endorsement of President Biden. "What I didn't like was a coronation instead of a convention. I didn't like the idea of 2 or 3 people picking the nominee because I believe a convention would have provided perhaps a stronger candidate." Morgan said on Monday, "I don't believe she can win." Meanwhile, the left-wing organization Black Lives Matter is resisting the installation of Vice President Harris as well. They are calling on the Democratic National Convention to create a process that allows for public participation in the nomination process, not just a nomination by party delegates. In a statement Tuesday, the group, which rose to prominence in 2020 for organizing nationwide protests in the wake of the killing of George Floyd, said that a 24-hour process of talking to party bosses is not democratic, nor is it a process Democrats should be proud of. "We do not live in a dictatorship. Delegates are not oligarchs. installing Kamala Harris as the Democratic nominee and an unknown vice president without any public voting process would make the modern Democratic Party a party of hypocrites, the group said in a statement. America's once red-hot hiring and rock-bottom unemployment that helped millions of workers find new gigs, boost their wages, and reinvent their careers is giving way to more prosaic times. While the market is still healthy by many measures, signs of difficulty are creeping in. The unemployment rate ticked up to 4.1% last month, the first time it has crossed above 4% since 2021. That's still low by historical measures, but it's up from 3.4% early last year. Workers have stopped quitting jobs at a frenzied pace, and college grads are having a hard time breaking into the market at all. The number of open positions for every unemployed person is back to the pre-pandemic level of 1.2, down from over 2 in 2022. While the risk of getting laid off is still low, hiring has fallen beneath its pre-COVID level. Many economists see a job market that has come back into balance, though some worry that conditions could continue worsening. Existing home sales notched their worst June in at least 25 years as prices rose and high costs kept buyers on the sidelines, capping off a dismal spring season. And yet, rising inventory is a silver lining for buyers. Existing home sales in June fell to a lower than expected seasonally adjusted annual rate of 3.89 million, according to the National Association of Realtors, lower than the 3.99 million that economists had expected. It was the lowest seasonally adjusted level since December, and the slowest June since at least 1999, when the trade group began reporting existing home sales figures. At June's pace, it would take 4.1 months to sell through every unit on the market, the highest level in over 4 years, the National Association of Realtors chief economist Lawrence Yun said. "We're seeing a slow shift from a seller's market to a buyer's market," he said in a statement. That's the Raw Naked Truth. You can catch every episode of The Raw Naked Truth at xvadio.com, the Apple Podcasts app, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Audible, Amazon Music, and other platforms that respect freedom of speech. We'll see you next time.